What's going on there, YouTube, and welcome back to another comic book video. This is the channel where we sit down and cover different comic book stories from different comic book companies. Today, we're going to jump back over to Marvel Comics and continue our coverage over the Ultimate Marvel Universe. Now, we have been covering this Ultimate Marvel event known as Divided We Fall, United We Stand. Well, today, we are going to go ahead and wrap up the X-Men involvement in this big crossover event. We're going to cover Ultimate X-Men number 18, but we are also going to cover Ultimate Comics X-Men 18.1. A second issue that basically deals with the aftermath of the event for the X-Men team. So if you do like today's comic book video, please hit that like button down below and also subscribe to the channel for more content to come in the near future. But I do hope you enjoy today's video. So just like every issue, the story opens up to remind us what is going on across the nation in this crossover event, where the nation has been divided thanks to the actions in Ultimate Comics X-Men and Ultimates. At this point, the Ultimates have taken care of most of the issues except the mutant problem in the Southwest states. Also that Captain America is the president now. We also get word that Johnny Storm has been found. Remember, he was missing in the beginning of this event, and he was just found badly beaten, but alive. We finally get back to the present day, where our last video left off at, which was that William Stryker Jr., who we thought had died, had instead transferred his mind into the Sentinel Nimrod system. He was able to do this because his mutant ability lets him control technology. Well, in our last video, he was able to locate the location of Kitty Pryde, the person who killed him back in New York and sent an army after her. So we are picking up at that moment where now there is an army of Nimrods attacking the Kitty Pryde army base. Remember that Nick Fury is also here to help out as well. So we see him fighting alongside the others in this big battle. Now, William Stryker Jr. is not here with his Nimrod army. His death will happen in this book in the most anticlimactic death I have seen in comics in a long time. This is just a small army that he is hoping that will actually be able to take everyone out. If not, then he will of course step in to help out his Nimrods to reach his goal, which is to get rid of the mutant race. Now luckily for Kitty Pryde, she has some powerhouses on her team. This even includes my favorite X-Men character, Storm. She just comes in and wreaks havoc across the battlefield, which of course led to the end of this battle, giving the X-Men this victory. We pick up moments after the battle, where you have Nick Fury come to Kitty Pryde to tell her that he is leaving, that he must help the new government fix all of the problems of America. Where you have Kitty Pryde question about Captain America being the new president. Is he someone the mutant community can rely on to help fix the mutant situation in America? The only thing Nick Fury can tell Kitty about Captain America is that he has a good heart, but he has a lot on his shoulders when it comes to fixing America at the moment. Then he proceeds to say that Captain America will come soon to pay her a visit. Before we move on to the next section, we see that William Stryker Jr. is coming to finish the job he started earlier, with another army of Nimrods behind him. We then get a couple pages showing us how the relationship between Rogue and Quentin Quire is going since they had started seeing each other. We see that he was able to use his powers as a way to get rid of the voices in her head. Remember that every time Rogue absorbs someone's memories or powers, those memories or thoughts stay inside her head. So, with Quentin Quire being a psychic mutant, he was able to get rid of those voices in her head. Now we do get to the big fight, which is Kitty Pryde's army getting ready to fight against William Stryker Jr. and his army of Nimrods. You're about to see why I said earlier, this fight really sucks. Because the army appears, and we see William Stryker Jr. go and confront Kitty Pryde, where you think he is about to have this big one-on-one battle with her. We don't get that. Instead, what we do get to see is that there is a small battle that lasts a couple pages. At the end of the fight, she was able to kill him off very quickly by taking her gun and shooting him in the head. There is the death of William Stryker Jr. in comics. To close on the first chapter of this video, we see Kitty Pryde meeting up with Captain America, where of course we see that he did have to make a tough choice when it came to the mutants and putting America back together. He tells Kitty Pryde that he is giving mutants two choices. The first is to take the Seer Cure, which we saw in our Ultimates video, basically a virus that would cure the mutant gene. But then he states that the mutants who don't want to give up their powers, his plan is to move the mutants to a reservation in America, be their own kind of state in America. For Kitty Pryde, she hates the idea that Captain America is playing around with the idea of a cure being out there because of politics. So she leaves, but she accepts the offer. We then see Kitty Pryde being interrogated by some lady who works for the government. The reason why this is so important is because with Kitty Pryde taking the offer from Captain America, the government is trying to see if she can be trusted. Also the fact that this picks up days after the ending of the first chapter we just went through, where we learn that there was an incident. That incident involved a bomb that went off. This lady wants Kitty Pryde to go back over what happened with that situation and what is going to happen down the road. We jump back 3 days ago and we see Iceman and Husk in line at one of the camps that was set up in America to give mutants the Seer Cure. At first we learn that Husk wants to get rid of her powers and Iceman is trying to convince her, don't do it. She explains that she is tired of shedding off her skin after transforming. Now this is the plot twist. When Husk asks Iceman to go get her a drink, once he is gone, we see that she has a bomb on her and that bomb went off, of course. Before we learn the status of what happened with Husk, we actually learn more from Kitty Pryde, where she explains about the camps being set up to give the cure, how the cure is a painful process, but there were thousands of mutants lining up to take this cure. We then learn that Husk was never truly on Kitty Pryde's side, that instead she was brainwashed to believe that mutants are a problem. Mutants should be killed off. Her plan was to paint a picture that mutants are a problem. Once the humans give mutants peace, then a war will break out or the mutants will attack the humans. She was going to use the bomb as a way to paint that picture. So the big question came up after they had discussed Husk, which is how Iceman is doing, since we find out that Iceman had apparently had a crush on Husk. So the question is, how is he doing after dealing with the idea of her being an undercover agent? Well, not good. He does not talk to anyone, and he just uses his powers in the middle of the field to get away from everyone. Now, the next question to come up is about someone we have not seen in a little bit of time. That person being Nami Bloom, who was this little girl Kitty Pryde was watching over back in New York after being saved from William Stryker Jr. Nami Bloom has the powers of Magneto and Polaris. When we first saw her, she was only able to magnetize herself. Well, she had a secondary evolution when it came to her powers, that now she's able to do more with her powers. But the reason why she's being brought up is because we see that she has left New York and came to the Southwest, where Kitty Pryde and her got into a small argument that really wasn't an argument. To Nami, she feels like Kitty Pryde is always too busy to hang out with her or too busy to even talk to her. So now Nami hates Kitty Pryde. Her hatred evolved by the little time she spent around the camp that is giving out the cure, because when she sees that mutants are lining up to take this cure, it is Kitty Pryde's fault that this is even happening, that Kitty Pryde should have done something to prevent a cure from being out there. Kitty Pryde tries to reason with her about why she had to take the deal to help the mutant race. To Nami, it is not good enough no matter what she says. Also, the fact that Nami was able to use her powers to levitate Kitty and explain that her powers have evolved and she's becoming a new threat for the X-Men to deal with. Now, she does not kill Kitty only because Rogue was nearby, but she could have if she wanted to. And this is where we are going to end today's video. So please hit that like button down below and also subscribe to the channel for more content to come in the near future. Also, any suggestions on books I should read? Well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But I do hope you enjoy today's video.